Steve, if there was an award for having a pretty trendy machine shop, I think you may certainly stand a chance of winning it. I've got to congratulate you. What a fabulous facility you've got here, and it dressed with Matsuura machines. Can you tell us about this H Plus 630 that you've got?
Yeah, it was a big investment for us, probably about 4 or 5 years ago now. We were moving heavily into oil and gas and we needed something to produce castings. We already machined most of the internal parts for this casting, so we purchased this from Matsuura along with a large vertical CNC lathe. And basically nowadays it's that market's died and we're using it for other types of equipment, you know.
It's a twin pallet machine, but it's a 630. It's a big horizontal with a lot of tools, a lot of power. You've got the BT50 spindle, face and taper contact, but you need that. I mean, if we look at some of these parts that you're machining, you don't do soft materials, do you?
No, we tend to be onto the difficult stuff. We're looking for high complexity parts, basically that other people might shy away from. Inconels, all your exotics, and Matsuura's will handle it no problem.
And this particular part that we'll have a look at in a minute, that's got a lot of metal removal on it, hasn't it? And you leave it running unmanned as well, don't you, I believe?
Yeah, basically there's a day shift in here that finishes around about 4 p.m. and we have a back shift that come in to just basically man machines to keep them running. And the machine, that Matsuura, will keep on running until 12 o'clock midnight, working with tool steels and cutting. But it's, it takes a little bit of preparation, but it generally runs up till midnight.
Now, I know I'm going to have a quick walk around the machine shop in a minute and have a look at some of the other Matsuuras that you've got. But can you just tell our audience about your journey with Matsuura and the machines that you have purchased in the time that you've been running the company?
My journey with Matsuura probably started maybe 30 years ago when I used to work on machine tools. And I was lucky enough to get one when I was a horizontal machine and centre worker, and basically worked out straight away they're a nice piece of equipment, and you need to rely on them, and the accuracy's always there, and so when I eventually bought Kail myself and wanted the best for the people who work for us, I thought really need to try and buy Matsuura myself, and they're extremely reliable.
And you had horizontals traditionally, but you moved into their 5-axis machines when the MX520 came about. That was good for you, wasn't it? You were quite pleased when they launched that 5-axis machine.
Yeah, recognised potential for us straight away. Basically be able to put a part on there and get it off complete instead of having secondary operations. We now basically think 5-axis. We don't use our 5-axes in the same way that other people do for 3D machining, but we tend to be able to attack complex parts and get them on the floor as a complete item, so the customer can get his parts quicker.
Okay, we talked about the 630 and the 520s, the new 5-axis, but you have a machine in between those as well, which is the, I think is it the 40? It's the 405, the H Plus 405. What about those machines? What are they doing?
The 405, we've got 3 of their horizontals. It's slightly smaller capacity, but generally doing exactly the same type of work as what the 630 is doing, but on a smaller scale.
We will put a cutaway over the screen because I want to talk to you about the part that you're doing on the 520 as well. Tell us about that and the journey with that part, because you weren't able to do it before you had the MX520 from Matsuura, were you?
No, that particular part that's on the 5-axis machine, we would have had to have tackled on maybe 4 or 5 operations on a vertical. Very, very time consuming. Every time you're setting the machine, you're losing money. So basically that 5-axis is allowing us to hit the part with 1 operation and it comes off complete.
And it's tied up, it's pretty tight tolerances.
Yeah, there's precision tolerances on hole pitches and everything else that's with it,
And it is a bit of a given with Matsuura, but you're able to produce some pretty tasty surface finishes on these difficult materials, aren't you, as a result of the rigidity of the machines?
Definitely, there's a lot of rigidity there. The spindles from the not linear guide wire machines, they tend to be good solid machines, And
you've got the Matsuura spindle, which gives you the best when it comes to precision, longevity and performance.
Yeah, you can rely on everything as far as the rigidity goes, and that shows in the surface finishes that we achieve.
And if they do go wrong, which I know they don't very often, what sort of response do you get from the team there?
Matsuura, again, very, very good, yeah. But I've got to be honest, right, we very rare have to call the service department. If we do, 9 times out of 10, they'll help us over the phone and we'll fix things that way.
Right, I'm going to have a quick walk round, Stephen. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, cheers, thank you.
So this would be the first machine that we were talking to Stephen about. What a lovely component that is. I've got to say, that's the Op 1 completed, and now they'll be turning that over to machine Op 2, which I believe is happening in the machine at the moment. So this is the 630. I'm going to have a very quick chat with John here as we tour. John, is this the machine that you operate most of the time?
Yes, most of the time, yeah, 630, yeah, horizontal, yeah.
And what's your opinion on the machine itself? It doesn't seem like there's any vibration or anything when you're cutting on here.
The rigidity, it is really useful, it's helpful for tool life.
And what are you actually cutting in here at the moment? What is the material of the part we just saw?
It's a tool steel,
Depths of cut?
5mm.
And feed rate?
Metre a minute.
Okay, so and like I say, there's no vibration on any of the machine, is there? Handles that lovely. One thing I wanted to ask you, tools on this. How many tools in the back of the machine?
It takes 60 tools.
So does that mean you can use this for sister tooling and things like that if you choose to? Because certainly if you get a bit of tool wear.
Yeah, we often use that for run 2 shift.
Favourite machine in the workshop for you?
Yeah, definitely.
Good stuff, thanks John. Right, so let's move on. This is actually the finished part. This is what comes out here, the tool steel component that John was talking about. As we work our way back here, you can see that this 630 machine actually has dual exit on the swarf conveyor. And as I mentioned to Stephen, we are making some serious swarf here. I wonder how long it does take to fill both of these conveyors. Moving down, one of the latest purchases, as we talked about, was the MX520, the 5-axis machine. They've got 2 of these in the shop now. And the part that Steve mentioned is actually on this machine at the moment. Now, it's not machining at the moment, it's just finished, but this is actually the component. If you can bring the camera over to that, Chris, you can see that's the part that he was talking about where they were struggling to make it before they had the 520. It's tied up to pretty tight tolerances and they make 2 out of this. They've obviously got this one here and then they turn the bar over and they can make the second component. So that's the MX520. Here to the left of me we have one of the 405s, the horizontal twin pallet machine. We also have another 405 here, twin pallet machine. Let's see if we can catch up with this gentleman here. Good afternoon, or good morning I should say. So what do you like about this machine then that you're operating?
Just the size, the efficiency of it and the accuracy.
And what are you actually machining on here? What materials? Again, they're pretty hard?
Between 316 all the way up to Inco 625, so from generally like soft material to exotic hard metal.
And you're getting all right with the program inside? Do you do most of it at the machine, or you?
Yeah, it's a Fanuc control and it's very easy indeed.
Good stuff. Enjoy the rest of your day. So that's the second 405. There's the third 405. Again, twin pallet, horizontal machine. And then the final part of the jigsaw, should we call it, is this 520 here, which is the second of the 2 machines that they had here. It just goes to show, I mean, it's some investment that they've made here in Matsuura over the years. You can certainly see with all this technology here that this company's going places. They're even talking to Matsuura about the next stage, which is unmanned machining on 5-axis machines. That's it here from myself, Kail and company. It's certainly all blue here.